Michael Myers vs. Laurie Strode Showdown was the best in the Halloween franchise. The contenders that I see for this is Halloween 1978, Halloween 2 1981, Halloween H2O, Halloween 2018, and Halloween Ends. Let's start off with a great contender, and that is Halloween 1978. This really is just a continuous battle between Laurie and Michael throughout this film. Both characters in this film are bouncing back from falling down stairs, falling off balconies, being stabbed, being absolutely battered, really. The music in it is great throughout it at building up the tension that we're seeing. The score to a lot of these battle scenes as well is just incredible. You know, the tension that it does create with us like kind of watching Michael get up again and again. It makes it so much more nerve-wracking. What I really love about 1978 is the true Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode, you know, action that we do see. It's not until Loomis does come in at the very end, you know, that we see anyone really like battle with Michael like that and kind of, you know, give him that challenge. Let's talk about Halloween 2 though. This one looks incredible. Again, the music to this one is great. I do find that the way Michael moves in this one makes the chase scenes a lot more kind of spooky and nerve-wracking. We do get a really good chase scene through the hospital that I find so creepy watching Michael, you know, the way that Dick Warlock does move. This one though, in terms of a Michael Myers versus Laurie, it's a little bit different because Loomis really is heavily involved in, you know, that final moment. And obviously Laurie's suffering with the injuries that she did in 1978, so you know, she's not as like able to, you know, really fight back. So it is kind of Loomis's job in this one to, you know, guide that final action scene. So for that reason, you know, it is a shame, but at the same time, not really, because it's still great. But just due to those reasons of the idea of, you know, Laurie's still very injured from the nights and Loomis is heavily involved in supporting Laurie and defeating Michael in this one. You know, it doesn't fall as high as some others on this list due to that. Next up though, we've got Halloween H2O, which in my opinion has to be one of the strongest contenders for the best showdown between the two, because this is Laurie Strode after the trauma of 1978 and she is just gunning for him in this one. You know, it's a true battle start to finish and it was Laurie taking control again, which I love to see, so that scores it some serious points. What I also love about H2O is that we get to see them battle in different areas of, you know, the school, you know, the different locations within that environment. I just think it makes it very cool, interesting, and you know, it's different from 1978. Like, we aren't necessarily in, you know, like your average American town household. And right through to the very end when, you know, Michael's in the ambulance, we're changing location with Laurie driving. It was all just so great. And again, Laurie really getting back to this one and fighting Michael again. It makes the ending, the build up to the ending so much better, and it just gets you so much more invested in that film, I think. And of course, something that's going to score this very highly is that dramatic ending that we do get. Obviously, yeah, it's not Michael in the end, but if we're looking at it from that film and the battle that occurred, like, it was so good. Halloween 2018, a little bit like H2O. This is Laurie again, you know, wanting to take control. She's very much so aware of Michael and the danger he possesses. So, you know, she wants to be ready for him in this one. And yeah, the showdown that we do get in obviously Laurie's home with, you know, the kind of traps and stuff that Laurie set up for Michael. Even though H2O does exist where Laurie's gunning for Michael, this one is also very different because we get to see how calculated Laurie's been in planning for Michael's return. We get some great tension in the final act of this film as well when Laurie is kind of, you know, going room to room. There's no score there, and it does make it that bit more like tense, scary. In terms of a Michael versus Laurie showdown, if we're getting into specifics again, the help from Karen and Allison really does add to it, and it makes for some great scenes. But it obviously does mean that Laurie did kind of have help. But nevertheless, again, you know, the way that that ends, them trapping Michael, Laurie essentially defeating Michael again, I thought it was really good. It's a great Michael versus Laurie fight. So yeah, it has to be on this list for me. Then we've got Halloween Ends, which, you know, as far as people's thoughts on that movie, I agree. There should have been way more Michael and Laurie and sticking with those previous two films. You know, I really do agree with that. But if we are looking at it from the Michael versus Laurie showdown that we do get, you know, the more that I do watch Halloween Ends and, you know, when you just accept that, yeah, it's not what you know, in terms of me personally anyway, it's not what I wanted it to be. But when I just accept what I do have in front of me with this film, that end sequence with Michael versus Laurie is really incredible. And, you know, when you watch the planning and how involved Jamie Lee Curtis is with this, like her working through like the choreography as such as of this fight scene, you know, I completely believe, you know, that she put her all into that final scene, because when you watch it for what it is, like Michael versus Laurie, after all of these years, they're finally together in that same room again, and they're just fighting to the death. It's one of, if not the most incredible final girl and like killer scenes of all time. Like, yeah, it's not associated with the best film, and what came before that moment didn't necessarily help to that moment, but what an ending. You know, while I would have liked to see, you know, a bit more tension and stuff, the fact that they, throughout that scene, are always, you know, a step away from each other, just going back and forth, getting little wins over each other. You know, you really are just locked onto it, and there's no time to be like, right, you know, she's away from him now, or where's Michael? It's just they are there, and the only way they're going to stop is when someone dies. So yeah, I think that end scene, like, definitely looking back on it, it's such a powerful scene, and to the Halloween franchise, it is such an important scene for the franchise, you know, Laurie and Michael and their final encounter, you know. So yeah, they're my contenders anyway. Let me know down in the comments below if you think any other film did deserve it. Obviously, Laurie and Michael are in Halloween Kills. That's fair enough. But, you know, it wasn't really like it wasn't a showdown between them ever, so I couldn't add them into this one. And yeah, in, you know, writing down the notes to even make this video, it really is like, it makes me grateful for what a treat it's actually been to see these two face off so often, you know, through different decades. It's crazy how long this has lasted, but how amazing it has been up until the very end. You know, I've spoken so highly there of Halloween Ends, which makes it weird to then just go to this after, you know, getting so invested in what I was saying there. But they are all great showdowns, these films. I don't think there's one that's particularly weak. But if I was going to go with my honest opinion, I think that Halloween H2O is the best showdown for me. That's then followed by the original Halloween, and then Halloween Ends definitely takes third place. They are my top 3 of those options. But please do let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, because this is something that I love talking about, you know, the whole Michael versus Laurie. So yeah, if you had a different opinion, or you want to rank what I've said differently, go ahead in the comments down below. I'm interested to know what you guys think. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that want to put Halloween 1 at the very top, and I completely understand that. It's very close between H2O and Halloween. I just kind of love that in H2O she has that bit more fight and confidence against him. To me, it makes for a little bit of a better showdown. But yeah, that is it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below, as I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.